In the luxury space, the German trio of Audi, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz rule supreme. And smack dab in the middle of their lineups are the midsize sedans. This one here is one of the latest to get a full redesign, the 2024 Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Not to ruin any suspense or anything, but I really like it. But before I get into why, do us a favor, hit those like and subscribe buttons below to get all of our latest content. This 6th generation E-Class got a full overhaul for 2024. It's no longer offered as a coupe or convertible since the new CLE class has replaced them. The E-Class is still available as a wagon, and it's called the all-terrain. Styling-wise, this new E-Class remains easily identifiable as a Benz, with graceful curves and plenty of presence. The grille shape has also been inverted, and the headlights are integrated into the surrounding trim. Down the side, we do have these deploying handles that tidy up the look and help reduce wind resistance. Around back, things get a little more rounded, but the light bar across the trunk keeps it from looking too melty. I really like the 3-pointed star motif in the taillights too. Overall, I like the way this new E-Class looks. In a lot of ways, it continues to represent a smaller version of the stately S-Class, even though it is over a foot shorter in length. But what do you think? Does this new E-Class have the style and substance to win you over, or are you drawn in by the BMW's edgier design? Let us know what you think in the comments below. There are currently 3 engine choices within the E-Class. The base model E350 gets a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder hybrid that's good for 255 horsepower. By Mercedes' estimate, it should accelerate to 60 miles an hour in around 6 seconds. For 2024, it was only offered with the 4MATIC all-wheel drive system, but for 2025, a more affordable rear-wheel drive model is available. This is the E450 4MATIC, which upgrades to a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder that produces 375 horsepower. That should be good enough to propel this sedan to 60 miles an hour in 4.5 seconds, which should be plenty for most drivers. If you're one of the rare drivers that needs more performance, the AMG E53 returns in 2025 as a plug-in hybrid. It'll make as much as 603 horsepower and sprint to 60 miles an hour in 3.7 seconds. On a full charge, it should also return up to 42 miles of electric-only driving. Other 2025 changes include a new center airbag between the front seats and a synthetic leather-wrapped steering wheel that allows shoppers to go completely animal-free. We'll get to those in a bit, but for now, let's see how this new E-Class drives. A Mercedes is known for smoothness, and this new E-Class is definitely smooth. Throttle response is actually really quick, maybe a little too quick for my taste. Sometimes it can be a little jumpy if you're careless with the pedal, but I'd rather have that response than not. Acceleration is just buttery smooth as you'd expect, and really nice and quiet. There's certain points in my drive where I felt like maybe I was driving an EV. And the ride quality, well, that's almost perfect. I mean, you really just have to go to an S-Class to get something better. It's really nice and smooth, and this has the Airmatic air suspension option. That air suspension also comes with 4-wheel steering, which makes this way more maneuverable. I was actually shocked by how easy it was to squeeze this into my rather constricted carport parking space. I had to make far fewer multi-point turns than normal. When it comes to braking, well, there's not much to report there, and that's good. It just feels right. You would never even know that this was a hybrid because there's just a nice, smooth transition between braking with the physical pads and with the regenerative braking. Now, handling, it's not that great, but this is a luxury sedan, so I don't expect it to be too sporty. And there is a little bit of extra motion when you take a corner, but that's only if you're in comfort mode. Switch over to sport mode and it tightens things up a bit and also sharpens up the throttle response. Well, that wraps it up for the drive impression, so let's pull over and talk about the interior. And there's a lot to go over. Right off the bat, this new E-Class has echoes of the EQS and other all-electric Benzes with this striking glass dashboard. It differs from the hyperscreen found in those all-electric Benzes with this super screen that has the instrument panel that's split away from the rest of the dashboard in its own tablet-like pod. This super screen is a $1,500 option that adds a separate touchscreen just for the front passenger. It allows them to navigate or play mobile DJ or even play video games and stream video. And there's no danger of distracting the driver while you're using it because it has this clever filter that blocks all that content from the driver's view while you're on the road. In the past, I haven't been that crazy about the hyperscreen because it caused some distracting reflection, but for some reason, I'm not getting those in this new E-Class. In standard E-Class form, it comes with synthetic leather seat upholstery called MB-Tex. It's one of my favorites in the industry because it's got a little more weight and more convincing graining. This, however, has the $3,000 upgrade to premium Nappa leather, and it's not just in the seats, it's everywhere. You've got a leather top dashboard and leather in the doors, but there is one area that kind of bothers me, and it's this door handle. It's silvery and plasticky looking, and it's been used in other Mercedes, but in this setting, I just feel like it's out of place. As far as seat comfort goes, well, it's what you expect from Mercedes. It's kind of perfect. And these aren't even the upgraded multi-contour seats, and I don't even have the $3,000 massage function. Sad. But that said, on the road, man, it just supports you in all the right ways, and in this model we have ventilated seats and heated seats, and you can run them at the same time if you're one of those weirdos. This model also comes with a premium 17-speaker Burmester audio system that sounds fantastic, and it pairs perfectly with this nearly silent cabin. There's also this weird 3D display here that's supposed to give you kind of a 3D effect in the gauges, and I can sort of see it, but it's more of a novelty, and it's something that I really wouldn't pay for if it was extra. And you also notice there's something weird on the top of the dash. That's a camera. Why? Well, if you're using Zoom or other conferencing apps, you can actually have a meeting while you're on your way to work or running away from work, depending on your situation. You can also take a selfie, but in order to do so, you have to have a memory stick plugged in so it has somewhere to send it. Another new feature is something that Mercedes calls routines. It activates various systems when certain conditions are met or when the mood strikes you. Now, I did set one here for when the temperature drops below 50 degrees, and it'll activate the seat heater and the steering wheel. There's another one I set here called Date Night that'll bring up my favorite playlist and turn the interior lighting a nice warm pink. So yeah, whatever you can think of, you can probably have it set in there. And in the future, Mercedes plans to integrate some AI in there to automatically set some routines for you. So overall, there is a lot that I like about this interior, but not everything is perfect. I do have some nitpicks, and some of these nitpicks are a little more serious. One of the most serious is Mercedes' use of capacitive touch buttons. I really truly hate them because you don't really have a good tactile sense of where the buttons are, and especially for sliders, it can be infuriating. If you're just trying to turn the volume up or down, it can go way too far or not even register. So please, Mercedes, BMW, Audi, all of you, stop using capacitive touch buttons. They're horrible. But do you agree with me? Do you hate those buttons as much as I do? Let us know in the comments below. When it comes to storage, well, there's plenty. I've got this really big bin here with a wireless charging pad and 2 deployable cup holders. There's also a large center bin here, but it's not terribly deep, and well-sized door pockets. Overall, it should have plenty of space for your personal effects. Well, that's it from up here, so let's check out the back seats. Here in the back seat, I have a good amount of space for a mid-size sedan. I'm 5'10", and I have just about an inch or so left of headroom, but have plenty of legroom and knee room. And yeah, lots of space under the front seat for my feet as well. The materials quality isn't quite as nice as the front, which is typical, but there's one spot in particular that really bugs me. It's this center console here, which has that hard plastic covering. I would think for, the extra money you're spending for the extended leather package that would be covered too. Well, there also aren't any separate climate controls back here, and there aren't any heated seats, but those are options. Here in the center, we do have a armrest with some cup holders, as well as this little slot here with these rubber nubs that keep your phone nice and secure. So a little extra thought given there. Another thing that helps open up at least the perception of space is this dual pane sunroof. It gives you a nice kind of skyward view and just gives it an airier ambiance back here. As far as cargo goes, the E-Class sedan can hold 12.7 cubic feet. That's kind of small for the class, but as you can see, it's a very accommodating space. Now, that's similar in size to the Audi A6, but the BMW 5 Series can hold over 18 cubic feet. I figure if cargo really is that much of a priority for you, get the wagon because it can hold 21.7 cubic feet. Now, helping matters back here are some nice convenient hooks, including this one that drops down, as well as remote seat back releases, so you don't have to go crawling through the back seats. Added bonus, there's a large bin underneath too. So overall, even though on paper it doesn't have as much space as some of the competitors, I think it'll do just fine. As you can probably tell, I really like this new E-Class. It may not be as sporty as the BMW 5 Series or Audi S6, but it more than makes up for that with its extraordinary comfort and refinement. Prices start right around $63,000 for the base E350. Adding 4MATIC costs about $2,500 more. This E450 starts closer to $70,000, and in pinnacle trim with the options, it crests over $90,000. In terms of fuel economy, the E350 is estimated at 25 mpg city and 33 highway, or 24 and 33 mpg if you add all-wheel drive. The E450 drops only slightly to 22 city and 31 mpg highway. These figures are comparable to the equivalent BMW 5 Series as well as the Audi A6 and S6. The BMW and Audi A6 both cost a little less than a corresponding E-Class model, though the Audi S6 costs several $1,000s more than the E450. Personality-wise, the BMW 5 Series is the athlete of the class, while the E-Class excels at luxury and comfort. And the Audi, well, it sort of splits the difference, but it hasn't been redesigned in 6 years and its age is starting to show. Personally, I wouldn't mind a bit more handling performance, so the AMG E53 is piquing my interest. But I'd have to see how that cornering performance affects ride comfort. But what would you do? Are you more on the luxury side of the spectrum and go for the E-Class, or on the sporty side? Would you go for the E-Class 450 or 350, or wait for the AMG? Or maybe the BMW or Audi? Or maybe there's even another choice that I completely forgot. Let us know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and hit those like and subscribe buttons below to make sure you get us in the next review.